Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful pattern. Now this is not a Call the Midwife. This is a beautiful flower blossom stitch. Very much done in the same way as Call the Midwife, but this one has a beautiful, almost like apple blossom, strawberry blossom, whatever blossom that you might think of, and it is really easy. Now the stitch count for this is 12, and then you'll add another 6 stitches once you've done the chain that you want. I've done 10 sets of 12 plus 6, so that's 126 stitches. I've done a border, picked up the stitches around and down the sides, I'll show you on the video, and I've done 3 rounds of border. I've got 15 sets of the boxes up, 10 wide and 15 up, and it makes this beautiful blanket. So I finished this blanket on row 1. That is a UK treble crochet row, and that's a double crochet if you're in the USA. So I'm going to show you how to do this really beautiful blossom blanket. So for this beautiful pattern, I'm going to use this King Cole Melody on the sample. I used a solid colour on the original blanket as you saw at the beginning, but I think it would look beautiful in any colour, and you can use any yarn you want. Use the hook size, it tells you on the label. This is really soft yarn. Now this one is King Cole Melody. The colour for this one is Blueberry, and the shade number is 963 for this. So I'm going to do my sample with this. Now, Muttley's not been feeling too well, so I'm actually in my living room now. I'm not upstairs. He's got a little bit of his back problems back again, and he's limping quite badly on his back legs. So he's to get plenty of rest. So I'm in my living room, so hopefully the sound will be okay in this larger room. So the stitch count for this pattern is 12 plus 6. So you can do your chain in sets of 12 and then add 6 at the end. This one I'm just going to do a sample to show you the pattern. The pattern's got 5 rounds. You'll do round 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll do rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll start your next one, go back to round 1. So it'll be round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and then round 5. Then you'll go back to round 1, then 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll finish on a row 1. You'll finish with the 1 full row of UK treble crochets, or that's double crochets if you're in the USA. So I'm going to do my chain. I'm going to do a small sample, just a few of those little flower sets. So I'm going to do sets of 12. Now I'm going to do a sample just to show you how to do this. You'll do as many sets of 12 as you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So repeat that again. So I've done my sets of 12 and I'm going to add another 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now I'm going to go into the 3rd stitch in the chain. The 3rd stitch, and I'm going to do a UK treble crochet. These are double crochets if you're in the USA. Now we're going to put 1 into each stitch along, 1 into each stitch. So I've got row 1 done. This is row 1. Now row 2, you're going to chain 2. 1, don't do them too tight, and 2. Now, so row 2, that counts as stitch 1, and we're going to do 6 stitches along. So that is number 1. And we're going to do these trebles again, and these are doubles if you're in the USA. So that chain there is 1, 2, another one is 3, 4, 5, and one more is 6. So we've got the chain and 5 more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. You're going to skip 2. And then we're going to do what's called an extended treble crochet in the UK. This is an extended double crochet in the USA. So skip 2, put your yarn over your hook. Now in to this stitch and pull through. Now do yarn over and pull through 1 loop only one loop. Yarn over, then pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now in this pattern, this extended treble crochet stops your row from pulling up like this. It stops it from going like that. You could wrap your yarn around twice, but I found with that pattern it leaves bigger holes in the daisies. The leaves in the daisies look much bigger when you use a double treble or a treble crochet if you're in the USA. It makes the holes too big. So doing that little extended treble crochet or an extended double crochet if you're in the USA, it keeps it a little bit more in line with the rest of the pattern. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now you can find on my coffee page the diagram that I did for this. I just marked it out in lines, and then I put a line with 2 lines through it for that stitch, and then I did just lines for the other stitches. So I did my best to draw this out for you so that you could see it. But once you've done 1 or 2 of these patterns, it's really easy to do it. It's really easy just to look what you've done already and then follow along. So we've done 6 stitches along. So a chain of 2 and 5 stitches makes 6. Chain 2, skip 2 and do that extended treble crochet. So we're going to chain 2, skip 2 and we're going to work 7 along. So chain 2, skip 2 and we're going to do 7 trebles along. These are double crochets if you're in the USA. Now in the UK these are treble crochets. If you're in the USA they're double crochets. So that's 1. We're going to do 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we're going to make these 2 boxes again. So chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and we're going to do that extended treble crochet. So pull through, yarn over, pull through just 1 loop, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops, chain 2, skip 2 and work 7 along. So skip 2 and do your normal treble crochet or double crochet, whatever country you're in. You're going to work 7 along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and we're going to make 2 more boxes. So chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and do the extended treble crochet. So yarn over and pull through just 1 loop, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops, chain 2, skip 2 and work 7. So we're going to work 7 stitches along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now you'll do that to the full length that you've done your chain to. We're going to do one last set of boxes and we should only have 6 stitches left, and that keeps this end the same as this end here. So we started with 6, we should finish with 6. So we're going to do chain 2, 1, 2, skip. So we've done a chain 2, skip 2 and do the extended crochet stitch. So pull through 1 loop only, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. So you're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then we're going to work our way along here. So we're just going to do 6 normal treble crochets. So we've done our chain 2, skip 2 and work to the end of the row. We should have 6 stitches here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 into that stitch there is 5, and we've got that little chain of 2 there, so put 1 in the top of that, and that gives you 6. So that's why you do a set of 12 plus 6. The 6 balances up either end. So that is row 2. Row 2. Now row 3 and row 4 are the same. So row 3 and row 4 are going to be the same. You're going to chain 2, quite slack, 1, 2 and turn. So that counts as your first stitch. We're going to work another 3, so we've got 4 stitches here. So skip that first stitch. So that one's number 2. Another one is 3. One more is 4. Now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip these 2 stitches and skip 1 stitch of the chain. We're going to work that last stitch in the chain, that stitch there, and the first stitch in that chain of 2. We're going to do double crochets. If you're in the USA, these are single crochets for you. So skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and into that last one on that chain, do a double crochet, or single if you're in the USA. 1 into the next stitch is 2, and 1 into the next stitch. Just push it through. Don't go in the space. Go through the stitch. Go through the stitch. Now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip 3 stitches. So skip that last chain and 1, 2. And we're going to work 3 stitches in the middle. So you're going to skip that chain and 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 3 UK treble crochets. And these are double crochets if you're in the USA. 1, 2 and 3. And we're going to repeat that again. So that has given you, we've now got 4 petals on our little daisy. So we're going to repeat that again. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 1 of the chains, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in here. Single crochets if you're in the USA. So you're skipping 1, 2 and 1 of the chain. Go into the second stitch of that chain and do a double crochet through the stitch. It keeps your pattern looking better if you go through the stitch and not in the space. 1 into the top of the next stitch. And 1 into the first stitch in your next chain. So just push it through that first stitch. Like this. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to skip 3, so skip that other chain, so skip the chain and 1, 2 and work 3 stitches. Treble crochets. These are double crochets if you're in the USA. 1, 2 and 3. So again, we're going to repeat it again. So we're going to chain 3, then do 3 double crochets, chain 3 and do 3 treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that's chain 3, do 3 single crochets, chain 3 and do 3 double crochets if you're in the USA. Now, my yarn told me to use a 4mm hook. My crochet is quite slack, so I'm using a 3.5. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2 and the first one of the chain, and we're going to do our double crochets on this little T space. 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the first one of the next chain. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, skip the chain and 1 and 2 and work 3 across. You'll do that all the way along your length of blanket. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, so that's 1, 2 and the first chain, and we're going to do our double crochets now. 1 into that stitch, 1 into that stitch and 1 into the first stitch in that chain. Just push your hook through the stitch in that chain. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3 and work the last 4 stitches. So skip that chain and skip 1 and 2, so you're skipping 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and work 4. Work to the end, 1, 2, 1 more, and there's 3 and 1 in that chain of 2, and that's row 3 done. So that is row 3. Don't worry if it's looking like this, it will stretch out. So we're going to repeat row 3 for row 4. Row 4 is the same as row 3. So chain 2, 1, 2. Now you've got that row that you can follow. You've got this row, so you can follow what's here. So we've got our first stitch done, and we're going to work the next 3 stitches. So we've got 1 in here, it's 2, 1 in there, that's 3, and 1 there is 4. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now do a double crochet on top of these ones that are here. So one into that one. These are single crochets if you're in the USA. One into the next one, that's 2, and one into the next one. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Move over to these 3 stitches, and we're going to do this again. So treble crochet into that one, into the top of that one, and into the top of the next one. That's 3. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do 3 double crochets. These are single crochets if you're in the USA. So that's 1, 1 into the next one is 2, 1 into the next one is 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do these 3 stitches. So row 3 and row 4 are the same. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do your 3 double crochets or singles if you're in the USA. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you want to do this, you can grab your yarn and do your chain and follow along with the video. Just pause the video till you get to the end of your line. So this is what we have. So we've got a chain 3, so we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. You've got your 3 bigger stitches. So 3 treble crochets along. That's 3 double crochets if you're in the USA. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're down to the smaller stitches. Do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So that's 3 single crochets if you're in the USA. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to put 1 into each of these stitches. So you should have 4. A treble crochet, that's a double if you're in the USA. Into these, 1 into these 4 stitches, 1 into that next one, and 1 into that chain of 2 there. Push it through that chain of 2. And the reason we only chain 2, 1, 2, it gives it a nice straight edge. Turn your work around. Now we're going to do row 5. We're going to do row 5. Now we're going back to row 2. Row 5 is a repeat of row 2. This is how this is going to be easy. Once you've got one done, you're going to see the pattern and you're going to be able to repeat it easily. So we're going to put 1 into each stitch, so that chain of 2 counts as the first one. 1 into the next one is 2. Then 1 is 3, another one is 4. Now on row 2 we've got 6. So into this chain of 3 you're going to use 2 of the stitches. So 1 into the first chain, in through the stitch, not in the space, and 1 in through the next stitch. So you've now got 6 stitches, the same as this one. We're repeating row 2. So you've got row 1 is 1 stitch in every stitch. Row 2, you'll start with 6, chain 2 and that extended crochet, chain 2, and then it'll be 7 along here. So we're going to copy row 2. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, only 2 chains. Now into that middle stitch, we're going to do that extended stitch. So yarn over and into that middle stitch, pull through your yarn over, pull through just 1 loop. yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to work 7 stitches along. So once you've done that extended stitch, you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Remember these chain 2s. Now we're going to work 7 stitches across, just the same as this row here. So we're going to use 2 of the stitches that are in that chain of 3. That's your 1, 2, 3 chain. So we've done 2 chain there, and we're going to use 2 stitches. So skip that stitch in the chain and put 1 through that middle stitch in the chain. Do a UK treble crochet. These are double crochets if you're in the USA. 1 in the next stitch. Then you're going to work these 3 along. We need 7 altogether. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 1 into the next one is 4. 1 into the next stitch is 5. Then we're going to use 2 on this chain. So 1 into the first chain, that's 6, and 1 into the next chain, that's 7. So we've got 7 stitches, just the same as we have in this second row. We're repeating this second row, and look at that, you've got your first little flower made. Once you finish this row, you'll go back to row 1. We'll repeat row 1. Then we'll do row 2, row 3 and 4, which are the same, and then row 5. And row 5 is the same as row 2. So chain 2, 1, 2. Remember your chain 2s. Into the middle stitch, you're going to do that extended stitch. So pull through 1 loop, yarn over, come through 1 loop, yarn over through both loops, and yarn over and through both loops, and that gives you that bit of a taller stitch. Chain 2, remember the chain 2s. So into the chain of 3, we're going to put a stitch in the middle one and the next one. So skip that stitch and skip the first chain stitch. So we're going to put 1 into the middle stitch of the chain, 1 into the next stitch, and work your way along. We need 7. So we've got 2, 1 into the next stitch is 3, 1 into the next one is 4, then 5, and 1 into each of the first 2 stitches of the chain. So 1 into that chain, and 1 into that chain, and we're going to leave that one. So chain 2, 1, 2, move over to the middle, into this middle stitch, yarn over through the stitch and pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over and through 2. So 1 and 2. Once you've got this first set done, it's easy to follow it. Then you're going to repeat this row, then that row, then those 2, then that one, then that one, those 2 and that one, all the way up. So you've got your extended stitch and your 2 chain. So that's your chain of 3. So into the middle stitch, put 1 treble crochet, 1 into the next one, and these are doubles if you're in the USA. 1 into each of these 3 along, 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put 1 into the next one, that's 6, and 1 into the next one, that is 7. Keep checking it so you don't have to rip it out. Keep checking that you've got 7 and it's the same as down here. Chain 2, 1, 2, Now skip the stitches into the middle, yarn over and into the middle, pull a loop through, yarn over through one loop, yarn over through two loops, yarn over through two loops, chain two, remember those chain twos, and you're going to go into the middle of the chain, into the middle stitch in the chain, one into the next chain, and we should have 6 at the end. So that's 1, 2, and we've got these 4. That makes 6. So that one's 3. That one is 4. One in there is 5. And one more in that chain of 2 makes 6 there. Now what you're going to do is, if you want to finish your blanket, you're going to finish on row 1. So now we're going to repeat row 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we're going to repeat all of this. So chain 2, 1, 2 and turn. So we're going to do what we did here for row 1. It's 1 into every stitch. Even in your chain, you'll put a stitch here and a stitch here, a stitch in here. And these chain of 2, you'll put 1 in that chain and 1 in that chain. Work your way along, 1 in that chain, 1 in that chain, 1 in that stitch, 1 in the chain, 1 in the chain, and work your way along. So row 5 should look like row 1. So 1 UK treble crochet into each stitch. That's a 1 double crochet if you're in the USA. And remember and put them in the chain stitches as well. Now remember, go through the chain stitch. Don't go in the space. Go through the stitch. Push your hook through the stitch. Keeps it all nice and neat and right through that stitch. Then 1 into the top of that stitch. Then you've got your 2 chain. So 1 into that stitch, just push it right through the stitch. And right through the next stitch, just push your hook through the stitch like that. Push it right through the stitch. And then work your way along. So that is the first full box done. Now you will rewind the video. So that was row 1, 1 into each stitch. Rewind the video and do row 2. Then do row 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are the same. Then do row 5, which is a repeat of row 2, this one here. Then you'll finish with a row 1. That's what you'll keep doing, these 5 rows that I've shown you. These 5 rows and then row 1 again. And this is what you'll do for your blanket. So as you can see, I've done my blanket. I did 15 sets of the pattern. There's 15 sets. And I've done 10 of the boxes of the daisy. So that was 10 times 12 plus 6. So I did 126 stitches all together. 126 stitches. I finished on that treble crochet row. That's a double crochet row if you're in the USA. Now down the sides, what you've got down the side is you've got your stitches of 2, your chains of 2 and a treble crochet. I'm going to put 2 stitches when I'm at the treble or double crochet, whatever country you're in. And on the smaller one, where it's the chain 2, I'm only going to put 1 in it. So I'm going to put 2 stitches, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Now you can do your border. The reason I'm saying stitches is you can do your border whatever you want. You can do them in UK double crochets, that's single crochets if you're in the USA, or you can do treble crochets, and that's a double crochet if you're in the USA. You can do whatever stitch you want. I'm going to do UK treble crochets. So I'm at the end of a row, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That'll be my first stitch. Now into that same corner, I'm going to put 1 more. So that's 2. Every time you get to a corner, 2 stitches, 2 chain and 2 stitches. So that's my 2 stitches, 2 chain. So whether you're going to do UK treble crochets or double crochets, that's a smaller stitch. And in the USA, these are double crochets, but you can do single crochets if you want. So that's why I'm saying stitch. It's up to you what stitch you use. So back into there, I've done my chain of 2. Back into there, I'm going to put another 2. And that'll be my corner. So that's my first corner. When I get all the way around, I'll slip stitch to there. I'm going to slip stitch into the corner space, do 2 stitches, 2 chain and 2 stitches, and work another round. Do as many rounds as you want. So just down the side here, I'm going to put 1 here. I've already got these 2 in, so I'm only going to put 1 in. So I've got 1 little space there. I'm going to put just the 1 in there. That was a chain 2. So here I've got a larger space. I'm going to put 2 in. So I'm going to put 2 and then 1, then 2, 1 and 2. Where I'm putting the 2 is when you come to the end of a row and you do either a treble or double crochet, you chain 2 and turn. So that's why I've got smaller stitches. These smaller stitches are the chain 2s when we turned our blanket. I'm going to put 1 in there and then move to that one, put 2 in, then 1 in the other space. I'm just evenly making stitches down the side. And you're going to do as many rounds as you want. Do as many rounds, do your border as big as you want it to be. I'm going to put about 3 or maybe 4 rounds on, see what it looks like. So I have done my flower blossom blanket. Now as you can see, it's kind of wavy here. Now what's happening is this pattern is pulling the sides in. It's pulling the sides in. I'm going to zoom down a little bit. Excuse the mess I've got around here. Now, the way this pattern is, you can see, look how much stretch is in this, but it's pulling it in and it's making it all bumpy. Now, it will flatten, as you can see, when you stretch it out, it will flatten out. So what we have to do is block this pattern. We have to block this blanket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it damp. I'm going to spray it with some warm water, not hot water, with some warm water. You can, if you want, put some fabric softener into the water, just a few drops of fabric softener. You don't have to do that. But what we're going to have to do, I'm going to get some bath towels, big bath sheets, and you need an area either on the floor, on the bed, or on a desk a table will work as well. You're going to put a dry towel down. Then you're going to get your damp blanket and we're going to smooth it out and pin it. Now, there is one thing I'm going to tell you with the pins. If you use tacking pins for sewing, make sure you write down the number that you use so that you can take them back out. So if you put 15 in around your blanket, you're going to have to make sure you take 15 out. You don't want to leave a jaggy pin in your blanket. So I've made my blanket damp. I just put some water in my hands and I've rubbed it over. You can spray it if you want. Now I'm going to pull it down like this a little bit. And I've got some pins. Now I can't find my little sewing pins, but I've got these pins. I've got some safety pins. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it. So in this corner first, I'm going to pin through the towel and through the blanket. Make sure you go through the towel. Now I'm not going to close it, I'm just going to put it there. Push this back up. Now I'm a little bit fiddly because I'm trying to do this so you can still see it. So I'm going to turn it. So on this side I'm going to pull it on this side so it's nice and straight where I want it, down the edge here. So what you'll do is you'll just pin, pull and pin it. Just pull it. I'll move it up so you can see what I'm doing. But you'll be able to do this easier. I'll do this off camera anyway. Just pull it. Pull it down and pin it. And pull it down and pin it. So it's nice and straight. Make sure your towel is flat underneath. So I'll try and move the camera up a little bit. So I'm going to pull my blanket out here, pull the sides out so it's nice and straight. I'm going to get another pin, pull it out and pin through into the bath towel. Make sure it pins it in. Close it if you like. So I've got my blanket pinned out. Sometimes just smoothing it out as well. I'll hold it on to the towel too. Now what I've got a few other. I'm going to lay these over the top just to give it a little bit of weight. Don't ever iron your work. Don't ever iron your crochet. Now that's going to keep it all nice and flat as well. I'm going to leave it for a day and let it dry, let the blanket dry for a few hours at least, and then I'll take it off the pins. Okay, so I've left this overnight and I'm going to take my bath sheets back off. And look at that. It's dried and it's still straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the pins out. And that is how you block your blanket so that it stretches it out so that it's all nice and straight along the top. It opens up the pattern as well so you can see it more. So this is the blanket finished. It turned out absolutely beautiful, especially after blocking it and stretching out those sides. This is stunning. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for giving me your time. If you want to support the channel, you can pop over to my Ko-fi page and you can do a little donation of the price of a cup of coffee, and it helps to keep the channel running. You can also subscribe to the channel for free if you click on the subscribe button. It's completely free and only takes a few minutes. And if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.